Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. I just love the way y'all support me. Thank you so very much. Can everybody hear me okay? Can you hear me okay? Hello, Chris. I just need to know if everybody can hear me okay. Hey, Dale. Wow. Haven't heard that name in ages. How are you? Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get started, okay? So tonight we're doing a broadcast. Okay, thank you, Chris. Tonight we're doing a broadcast on living your best life. We're talking about personal development. And you know, how many times have you heard that over and over again about personal development? Well, tonight we're going to talk about that. And when you're living your best life, what does your best life actually look like? What does it look like to live your best life? So you think about, where are you living when you're living your best life? What are you doing? And then how are you feeling? So, and I thought about it, like when I'm living my best life, I'm living Lakeshore Drive, high rise, sitting out there with a cup of tea on the balcony, just chilling. Not having to worry about going to work. I just keep, how that sound when the cash app comes on. Every time somebody sends you a cash app, it's a cash register sound. Yeah, that's my best life because I'm hearing that all day while I'm just sitting down and just relaxing in the place where I want to be. Good health, good friends, relationships. That's a good life for me. So, what does your best life look like to you? So when you're living your best life, what does that look like to you? Think about it. And then you can put it in the comments if you want. But so tonight, that's what we're talking about. We're going to talk about we're talking to those who's ready to unleash their potential. And so we're going to share a couple of tips on how to live your best life and how to get ready to unleash that potential. We're all destined. We all have a purpose for being here. And I remember reading a book called The Purpose Driven Life. Hey, babe, A Purpose Driven Life. And so even, reading that book, talking about the purpose driven life. And some of these notes are even from that particular book because when you come to a place, when you begin to live in your purpose, then that's living your best life. Okay? So for those of you that may not know me, and Dale, I know you know me from way back when, right? So, but I changed, man. I changed. But for those others that don't know me, well, I'm a licensed cosmetologist. My name is Rhonda Jackson, master educator with over 20 years of experience. I made a decision a long time ago because I was working corporate America. I left there. I worked there for about 15 years. I left corporate America and went into the salon industry. And then once I went in the salon industry, I noticed that there was a huge gap between corporate America and the salon industry. And so my goal, my purpose now is to bridge that gap with, hey, Trina, we bridge that gap between the salon and corporate America because the salon, everybody in the salon, Trina, everybody in the salon knows how to do hair. Everybody had their individual gifts, but then what our salons is lacking is the business part of it. We're not running our business the way corporate is running theirs, right? That's why they get such great results and we don't. And so we have to make sure that we're incorporating the salon, the corporate side into the salon to where you can get well established business practices inside your salon. And so that's why I call this coaching program Rich Girls Don't Cry, because this program, it actually empowers the salon owners by incorporating proven corporate strategies into their salon businesses. And as a result, it helps create profitable salons that works without the salon owner, right? So when I say rich girls don't cry or rich, it by no means denote rich as in wealth or houses, lands, what have you. But the rich characterizes the coaching venture because you could be rich in a lot of different things, and but it doesn't take money to have character. It doesn't take money to have integrity. And so when you're rich in character, rich in integrity, and that's why we call in this coaching program Rich Girl Don't Cry, because we're operating in character, we operate in integrity, and we just doing business. And we don't have time to cry because we're doing business, right? So so tonight, I just want to make sure that we hone in on the personal development on tonight, because this has a lot to do with even the program and then our attitude and our stance when we are in the salon. And so a rich girl's life or a rich life, it's lived intentionally, it's proactively, and it's lived abundantly. Okay? All right. So, hey, Lisa and Bill. And so, personal development, anytime you are consciously making an effort to improve yourself, you are actually participating in personal development. So, what does that look like? What does that look like? Now, remember the scripture that we used yesterday. In it, we said, so a man thinketh, so is he. And we started the broadcast by asking on today, where are you living? When you living your best life, where are you living? What's some of the places where you want to live? What are you doing? And how are you feeling? How does it feel, Rhonda, to be on Lakeshore Drive overlooking the lake and the city of Chicago up on the 30th floor with your feet propped up on the table? How does that feel? And you got to really think about, the place where you want to be. And when you think about that, and then think about how would it feel once you're there? Because then you're able to, you can see yourself there, and then we can just back up. We're going to back up and see, okay, I know I want that. I know how it's going to feel. I know how it's going to look. Now I'm going to back up and start at step one and see what it takes to get there. Okay? And so now you're working on your goals on how to get to that best life. And so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to set clear goals. And when I say clear goals, we got to identify what you want to achieve. How are we going to get there? And you got to think about it in your job, your retirement, your business, your relationships, your health, and even your personal growth. Because whatever you call your best life, it's going to take these steps to get there. And so you're going to be honest with yourself when you set these goals. And then some of us may need to go back to school and take a class or two. Because when we embrace a growth mindset and seek opportunities to learn and acquire new skill sets, we have to start reading books, take online courses, attend workshops, or just engage in activities, to expand your horizon. I was talking to a couple of people earlier today at the salon. One girl, she didn't have a clue really of what she wanted to do. 22 years old, and she really didn't have any clear goals. But then yet another girl, she was in school, getting ready, she's taking classes to do her doctorate, and she was saying she was almost like intimidated by the people that were in her classes because they all had PhDs. And we talked about that, and she said she felt, I wrote that down. Oh, she said she felt the imposter syndrome because she felt like she really didn't belong because everybody else is above her. And I told her, I'm like, babe, when you're somewhere and you have other smart people in the room, you're in the right room, because you never want to be in a place where you're the smartest one in the room. And she's actually taking a peek. God is allowing her to take a peek on where she's going and what she's doing. I said, so let that show you that let that be a motivating factor to where you're really going and to where you really are. because you're around people that's already in the place where you want to be. And that's a good place. That's the best place you want to be. Right? So that's why I told her don't give up and just start looking at it as, oh, I'm going to see my future. Every time you go in there, know that you're going to see your future because that's where you want to be. And then when you get to a place when they all graduate and others come and you're the smartest one, it's time to find another room. Okay, so then the third thing is, so y'all understand that. So, rather take more classes, do whatever you need to do to get to a place where, you're enlarging your territory or enlarging your mindset. You always want to be in that another place. Every time you're here, that you made it. Now it's time for the next step. You always want to be in the next. Okay, you never want to be complacent on where you are. That's living your best life. Now, the third one, you got to do some self-reflection, and you really got to be honest with yourself. When you be honest with yourself, you're going to ask, now, what do I need to do? Exactly what is it that I need to do to get to that next place? And so when you're being honest with yourself and you're taking time to reflect on your thoughts, have you ever thought about what you're thinking about? Like, why am I thinking like that? Where did that thought come from? Take time to think about that. Where these thoughts coming from? Take time to think about what you're thinking about. Take the Bible says take those thoughts into captivity, especially when they're the wrong thoughts. You take them into captivity and then you bring them into subjection in the knowledge of the Lord. Did God say that? Now, who's that speaking to me? Now you got to decide, am I going to dwell on this thought or, I'm going to cast that down and think about something else? Right, Lisa. You got to be able to learn from everyone you meet. So when you start taking these thoughts into captivity, you got to think about, okay, so where did that come from? Now, the word. Is it the word? Because if it's not the word, that's not God. Because God's only going to give you the thoughts from his word. Okay, so we got to stay there and make sure that we're being honest with ourselves. We're taking the time to reflect on these thoughts, and you got to bring your emotions in the subjection is also. So you got to even think about, how's that making you feel? What are you feeling and why are you feeling like that? And then I would suggest that you begin to start getting a journal. And when you get a journal, you're starting to write these thoughts down. You're writing down the thoughts, you're writing down how it makes you feel, because it's so good when you write these down, because you're going to come back to it one day, even a year later, even a month later, when you come back and you're thinking about this and you're looking through these journals, then you'll be able to gauge yourself and see how far you have come. And then you'd be like, wow. And then that serves as a motivating factor to where you're going to be like, oh, wow, I really have grown. But let me continue on. So it serves as a reminder of what you've been doing and where you started from. And always, the next thing, always, always, always practice self-care. Prioritize self-care and get in activities that nourish your physical, mental, emotional well-being. That's a rich girl move. Remember everything that we've been talking about the rich girl, because when we're talking about the rich girl move, we're in the habit of regular exercise. Well, praise the Lord. In the habit of regular exercise and maintaining a healthy diet, and we're getting enough sleep and engaging in activities that bring you joy and relaxation. You got to make sure that you get around things and doing things that's motivating you. You don't want to be around Debbie Downers. You don't need to be around people that's always talking negative about everything hurt all the time, or somebody did somebody wrong some. You need to be around people and things that's actually going to lift you up, motivate you to do even better than you're doing before. Hey, best friend. Hi, DeFreeze. Hey, Danita. So, and also, it's so funny. I kind of like, y'all didn't see how I skipped over physical exercise, right? Because, this is day 6 of 30, where we're doing, 30-day live challenge. And it's so funny. I'm like, okay, so what am I going to talk about for 30 days? And I'm just getting all these different subjects. And exercise just kept coming into mind. I'm like, nah, casting that thought down. We were just talking about that, right? And so I'm like, we ain't talking about no exercise because I ain't there yet. And then I'm still writing down these different notes and come back, exercise. I'm like, and I'm still putting it to the side. Next thing you know, I have to read this, and guess what comes up again? Exercise. So I think we're gonna have to start talking about diet and exercise on one of these lives. I probably have to get a guest speaker. Anyway, the next thing we want to do to make sure that we're having a healthy life or living our best life and living our best life, we got to make sure that we are have a supportive network. You need, like I was just saying, you need to be around people that are supporting you, people that's going to push you to do better. Not people that's like, girl, go ahead and eat those fries. You'll be okay. No, you know what? Let's go get a salad. You got to talk to people that's going to motivate you to do the right thing. Motivate you to go ahead and go back to school, and talk you through these. And, you just need some motivating people that's going to help you get to your best life, help you get to that next place. And so when you're building that type of network, you're going to, the people that's around you, they're like your accountability partners, right? And so you got to make sure that you're around those type of people. Whether you need to, you don't have those people around you, then you need to seek mentors. You need to join communities where you can connect with like-minded people. Like I was telling the young girl earlier, she's in a good place. She's in a very good place. Being around people that's smarter than her. So don't ever get discouraged by that. And then we need to make sure that we're embracing challenges and opportunities for growth and development. We got to step outside our comfort zone. It's uncomfortable to go and exercise every day. It's uncomfortable to cook, to make sure that we're eating right. It's uncomfortable to sit down and just do nothing and read a book, especially when you're a person that works on your feet all the time and you just go, go, go. And now you're trying to just sit down and quiet your mind to read a book or to do an online course because you got to sit down to write everything out. So sometimes you have to come out of your comfort zone. And I used to pride myself in saying, nope, I'm on my feet thinker. I got to be moving while I'm thinking. I can do better while I'm moving. But sometimes you got to come out of your comfort zone and just sit it down. Sit down, get it together. And then, because you're working on something else, you're in another phase of your life. You go into this place where you're living your best life, personal development. Have you all heard of George Foreman? Anybody ever heard of George Foreman? What does George Foreman do? Who is George Foreman? Well, y'all typing real slow. Let me tell you something. George Foreman, he was a heavyweight boxer, right? So the older generation knows him as a heavyweight boxer. But then, hi Tila, hey baby, he was known as a heavyweight boxer, right? But then after that, then he was transformed. So the younger people know him as the George Foreman Grill. Because the personal development, he was able to transform his life and start doing something else in life. So we can't stay in the same place in which people knew us 10, 20 years ago. You got to be able to move on into that next place. It's always a next. As long as you have breath in your body, it's always a next. And we got to be ready to go for it. Okay? So this is just basically, you're just talking about personal development. We're talking about living your best life, embracing challenges, embracing changes, building a network, always looking for the next, doing doing a self-reflection. And we got to make sure, you all, that we are being consistent. When we do start making these changes, we got to make sure, like I said, we need an accountability partner. You got to make sure you got somebody that's holding you accountable to these things. I remember my husband told me, I told him, I'm glad we getting ready to fast again because I can lose about 5 pounds. He was like, you're not fasting right. I'm like, what do you mean I'm not fasting right? And he said, because you need to pray. He said, a fast is not just for losing weight. If you ain't praying, you ain't fasting. I'm like, dang. So I can't even tell him the reason why I really want to do the fast. Because I'm accountable now, right? I'm accountable to where he's going to make sure that I'm spending time in prayer while during this fast. So you got to have an accountability partner, somebody that's going to hold you accountable to what you're really supposed to be doing. Okay, so and stay consistent in that. When you're consistent and you make these daily part of your daily routine, then it gets easier. It gets easier, and then the next thing you know, you wake up and you're in your next. You're doing something totally different than you were doing 5-10 years ago. So you all make specific goals, write them down, get an accountability partner. You know, like I said, somebody might need to take another course. You might need to go back to school. Whatever you need to do, do it. Get it done to where you can be able to move into your next. It'll be worth it after a while, right? Okay. So y'all, you remember that personal development is a lifelong journey. Be patient with yourself. Celebrate your progress along the way. And remember that small steps can lead to a significant transformation over time. Okay? All right. So you all, that's it for today. I'll be back on tomorrow, same time at 7 p.m. And tomorrow is Sunday. So basically, I think we're going to be talking about something, talking about those church folks tomorrow. That's our broadcast on tomorrow, talking about the church folks. Wonder what that's about, right? So tune in tomorrow at 7. Remember, I am Rhonda Jackson. I'm your personal, I don't know about being froze. I'm your personal development coach. And I help salons become more marketable, and I help salon owners become more marketable, and I help them to bring the corporate strategies into their salon setting, creating healthy salons and creating stress-free salon owners. And so that's the coaching program that we're embedding on now, and that's what we're doing now. And I just like to thank you all for coming on, and I'll see you on tomorrow. Thanks again. Good night. Thanks to Freeze. Bye-bye.